What's up everyone, welcome back to Beyond ARTV. My name is John and today we're going to be talking about an episode of Black Mirror titled Rachel, Jack, and Ashley 2 and what it can teach us about posthumous releases in music. If you haven't seen the episode yet on Netflix, then I highly recommend watching that first. If you don't want spoilers, there will be spoilers in this video. Posthumous releases in music, of course, refer to a musician's work coming out after they've tragically passed away. It could be somebody that's older, it could be somebody that's younger, and I feel that we've seen a rise in that in recent years, even the past few decades, because of one, maybe the label's greed, but also due to the fan demand. People really asking for and wanting these things. And I don't know if everybody really understands how complicated it can get, the kind of twisted morals that it takes to actually mine through people's gold, if you will, looking through their personal belongings, their journals, maybe they had a laptop that contained a lot of notes, ideas, demos, whatever. Now we are seeing it more than ever that the producers, the estate, whoever the rights went to after the artist passed away are starting to chop up these things and sell them off as features, maybe put together an EP, stitch together an album. It's something that's really starting to take over and become a problem, and I do think that this episode of Black Mirror did a great job at breaking it down. Now, we've recently seen posthumous releases in all genres of music: XXXTentacion, Lil Peep, and if you look to rock, we can see Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington. EDM electronic, we have Avicii, who just released his album 10 posthumously. And I think that there's obviously blurred lines when it comes to this, and sometimes I feel downright dirty actually listening to the music because I know that the artist did not give consent to this. They cannot sign off on it because they're no longer here on this planet. It's the sad reality. Now, there's some artists that actually did have a collaborative spirit. Maybe they had something in their will. I think Avicii is something that I'm more okay with because I know that he had so many people that he trusted and liked to work with, and he already started on his album Tim, and they just helped him complete it after he passed away. And I think similar situations for Chester Bennington. We saw him teaming up with Mark Morton for that single Cross Off. That was completed before he passed away. But in other cases, we have something that makes me feel a little bit sick to my stomach. I think that Lil Peep and even XXXTentacion, regardless of what you think about either of them as people, their ideas and their little vocal snippets are being chopped up to death and thrown in as features all over the place. And it's really becoming a recurring problem. And I don't know if everybody really understands the implications, what this really means. The episode of Black Mirror dives into the fact that Miley Cyrus stars as a singer who is Ashley O. This singer, Ashley O, wants to move away from the teen-style music, the PG, family-friendly, clean stuff that she'd been making, but her aunt, who also serves as her creative consultant, her manager, doesn't want her to grow up. She starts trying to move on, and in fact, everybody around her is just oppressing her on her team. They're trying to give her drugs to make her cooperate, and eventually when she lashes out and says, "I'm not gonna do this," her aunt ends up drugging her. She slips into a coma, and in the episode of Black Mirror, as you know if you watch this series, it's normally set in alternate timelines with advanced technology, and they start scanning her brain while she's in the coma because she mentioned that she writes her songs while she sleeps. They start scanning that, they pull the notes, they stitch together songs and ideas, and they make a little album out of it, and they start to sell it and say, oh, this is going to go on tour. And that's another thing that has actually been brought to light in recent years. We've seen hologram tours popping up left and right, from Frank Zappa to Amy Winehouse. Tupac Shakur actually appeared at Coachella. That was really the first one that we saw. And in this episode, I really think that they put us in that seat where we're face to face with our moral compass. Do we want to actually mine these ideas from dead people, just to be frank? So we're not really putting anything behind a wall. We're putting it all out there. We're stealing essentially from them. We're taking. It's not a Prince situation where he passed away and he said, look, I've got a vault full of music and it's slowly going to trickle out. It's nothing like that. Some of these artists like Lil Peep have died very, very young, and now we're seeing it chopped up and it's being peddled, and it's honestly sickening to see bands like Fall Out Boy, more so, I'm not sure exactly who was behind it, probably Pete Wentz, I can't say for certain, but also other people like I Love McConan. They're chopping up his stuff, and I just don't feel right about it because they act like they're doing him justice. They're doing the right thing. And we don't know if this is the move that Lil Peep would have made because, again, they cannot consent. Now, getting back to the episode of Black Mirror, it gets downright scary as we see this singer Ashley O, this fictional character, and she's being basically used. They're telling her, you know, you want to change images? Well, too bad. We're going to kill you off like you're a villain in a Bond movie, and it really doesn't matter to us. We're still going to mine you and harvest your organs, essentially, and we're going to spread those out to the world. We don't need you. We're going to put you in a lockdown state, a coma in this episode. And it's something that does translate and has a lot of commentary that goes so much deeper because I feel that we look to this situation, we see, oh, that's over the top. Obviously, it's an episode of Black Mirror. They're talking about advanced technology, but we could get there. It's like the what if. What if we get to that point? And what if people start to not even realize that we're crossing these lines? What do we do? Are we talking to the dead essentially and saying, hey, can I have your permission to do this? I don't think that we're ever going to get to the point where we can bring back somebody's consciousness to actually ask them for their consent. And I don't really see this being something that gets shut down anytime soon. I think that more and more people are starting to say, oh, the idea of a hologram tour or maybe a posthumous album that is really just stitched together little samples like the XXX album that was called Skins that came out at the end of last year. People are starting to be okay with these things. And I'm like, do you not feel weird knowing that they did not complete this themselves? They maybe recorded this on an iPhone and they're chopping it up so much, making it into a 2-minute song, releasing it for monetary gain. It's not most of the time being donated to any good profit organization, somebody that's actually doing something good, a charity. No, it's for their own personal gain. And that's where I feel that this episode did such a fantastic job at educating people. I think a lot of people maybe won't understand the tone of this episode and the arc that it goes through, but I really did enjoy the episode. I think it was the best of the newest season. I really liked Miley Cyrus because obviously she's a pop star in real life, and she did a fantastic job at performing as this Ashley O character and the transcendence that we see her go through as she actually is able to become herself. The transformation that she goes through, it's really a great episode. I highly recommend that you watch it, but it gave me an inspiration to talk about this topic. It's something that I've mentioned before, but I do feel that we are getting to this next level where it's not something that we can come back from necessarily. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section down below, though. This is definitely a complicated topic, but I feel that this episode maybe did something to actually stir a conversation, a debate even. I've given my side, so I would love to know what you're thinking. Don't forget to drop a like on this video while you're here, and subscribe for the love of music. I talk about it every single week on both of my channels. You can check out a couple of recent videos that I made on the channel by clicking these little cards right below me here. Another interesting discussion of this one right here. All of my social media accounts, including my Patreon, can be found linked in the description down below. And other than that, I'll see you soon for more right here on Beyond ARTV.